The Fly Fifer Podcast. Let's talk. Your chat, your way. This episode is sponsored by J. Couriers. The people who care for your delivery.
They came out to talk or no talk anyway. Shahur sir, and welcome to another Fly Fifer Podcast. Today I'm sat with another guy off of TikTok. We've been pals on TikTok for, I reckon, a couple of years anyway, following each other backwards and forwards. And he's got really quite an interesting story. And we're going to do everything. We're going to go right back in to find out who he is. We're going to talk about what happened to him, his situation, and how art is helping with his mental health and recovery from just a societal horrible thing that's happened to him, I guess. I don't even know if that's right. I'm saying a societal horrible thing. Anyway, let's get the guy in the camera. Enough about me, and on to Lee Alexander Carnegie. Some of you might know him as, I'm not on the camera now, it's him,
that's
as
me,
Lack from TikTok. Take it away, like, what's your name? Where'd you come from? That's my usual, but listen. Right, Lee Alexander Carnegie.
Yes.
Let's go right back, right? Let's go right back. Find out a bit about who you are and what's brought us here today. So, where are you from? Straight away, let's because he's got a bit of a twang to his voice. Normally we would say Chuchter, but now that I'm up in the Highlands, I can't talk anymore. So
that's true, but I'm a Chuchter now.
He's a Doric speaking man,
yeah.
I would say. So we might need a wee subtitle here.
Well, if you need a subtitle, you better phone me.
I was going to say, who the hell could translate that anyway?
Well, we get a few folk on TikTok like we did.
So, anyway, right, where are you from? Come on.
Well, originally from Turriff, or as known as a Turra.
Right.
My way of speaking.
My way of speaking.
There you go. There you go. And I was there most of my days and everything else. Brought up, was at school and everything else, and back at school, I was good at drawing and everything else and that, and then didn't have good enough grades, but I was just did jobs after I left school at 16. So I was doing odd jobs and that, and I was stuck in a job for 15 years in the meat factory in Turriff.
Right. Well, let's put the brakes on a wee bit, big man. Whoa. Right, so school life. You're from Turriff. Mum, dad, parents.
Oh yeah, I've got
all together.
Yeah,
happy life, childhood.
Childhood, it was good. This is my mum and dad. They took, we stayed just at the outskirts of Turriff.
Okay.
Just at the golf course.
So growing up, all right, school,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's just the occasional bully and all that, you know. But school.
Were you the bully?
No, I wasn't the bully. I was the getting it. But it was all right. So it's just because I wasn't smart enough or anything like that. And then
right, preschool, high school. What about there?
High school.
It's a story I didn't want to tell.
It is like
that's where it all went dark.
It is, because here you go. As soon as you're at school and all that, and you're a big school and all, you fancy quines. And all that, obviously. And
Quines. We should explain what quines are,
okay,
young man.
Quines is girls.
Girls. There you go.
Okay, girls.
Yes.
Where should I see young ladies?
The loons and the quines.
Aye.
I'm pretty sure. Aye. I've been around enough Aberdonians to know that the loons are guys.
Aye, that's true enough.
Quines are the women.
Or the mannies and the wifeys.
Mannies and the wifeys.
There you go.
Which will be soon. We'll be
that's
a manny
true.
and a wifey soon.
Oh, well, there you go.
Right, so high school. And the quines come on. What did that do to you?
Well, a bit of this way. You fancy equine and all for ages. And then you're trying to ask him, but you can't because you're like the shine and everything else. And, you got a bright read, you sweat. Oh, God, it's a horrible sight.
Horrible.
It's a horrible sight. It's like, here you go, teenager me, it's a horrible sight.
Right.
It really was.
Fair enough.
But the girls I always seemed to like when I was drawing. So I was like,
he's dying to get this art in there, eh?
I know,
We've not spoke about everything. So, right, seeing as you keep bringing it in,
Aye.
art, right? Has it been something in your life all your life?
It has. And here's the thing, and that, like I said, right when I was really, really young, I'd lost my uncle Bob.
Right.
And I must have been about 6 or 7 years old. I can't really mind now. But the last thing I drew him a picture and I handed it to him, and it was the last things he ever said to me. He says, one day you'll grow up to be an artist.
Right.
And then literally a fortnight after, he died.
Right.
So that's been stuck in my head the whole time.
Right.
It says, try and make him proud and all.
Aye.
Because it was one of my mum's brothers.
Right.
And his name was Bob, and funny enough, he was a builder.
Bob the
builder.
Brilliant. Aye.
But
so that's your earliest sort of memory of the art and everything.
Yeah, so then since then, been trying to involve my drawings and everything else. I always said to myself, right, that's now plugged in, that's now programmed in me to become an artist.
Right.
And then, well, growing up as well, I was in the Boys Brigade. I don't know if you...
The BBs,
yeah, the BBs.
The BBs, aye.
I was in there from 5 right up to...
What did you play?
Sorry?
Did you play something in a
No, I wasn't.
Because I always remember them doing like mad.
Boys
Brigade always had like a band, did they not?
Yeah, they did. But then,
the one in Rosyth where I come from did anyway.
Aye, but then we didn't hear it. We weren't big enough.
Right,
you need to hear a big enough section and everything like that.
Right.
So we were Boys Brigade, second brigade. I don't know what happened to the first team, so I don't care. So, and I was in there from age of 5 right up to in my 20s. Right. I was in there because I went right up the ranks, got my Queen's badge.
Right, okay.
And then then somebody asked me, you want to become an officer? So, all right, I'll do it. So I did that.
Giving back at that point, didn't you?
Exactly, aye. So there I was. And then all the loons that I came back when I was an officer, we're all now like 6'2" and everything else, and I'm like, flipping, they've got families and nothing new, and I'm like, shape, I feel all.
You're going to hate to translate that, what you just said there.
Oh, then I feel old.
Then you feel brilliant, pal, brilliant. So, high school, done, dusted. Was there a college? I mean, the BBs took you into your 20s, so was college or university after school?
I did do college when my work was on shifts at the meat factory. So I was 1 week early, 1 week late. And I went to, at that point, it was Banff-and-Buchan College at Fraserburgh.
Right.
And I went there, and I was literally like 6 months doing 2 classes, and then my work decided to just change it back to earlies, and I couldn't do any more. So I had to say, that's me, I can't go back now.
Right, okay.
So but I'd learned some stuff and everything else. I did learn a few, but not enough that I wanted to know. You know, I wanted to learn more. But when I was just before my 20th birthday and everything else, I started going to an art group in Cumminston, which is like a 15-minute drive from Turriff.
Right, okay.
And I was the youngest in there.
Right.
Because I can't believe I'm going to say this, all folk as in old age pensioners.
More mature people.
Yes, I can say it. Yes. Some of them are and some of them weren't.
So what was that place then? What was it?
It was called the Cumminston Art Group.
Cumminston Art Group?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And there I learned how to do watercolours more sketching, more like abstract kind of stuff as well. And then they asked me what's the kind of stuff that I do, and I showed them, and a few of them really are in shock from it, saying, "Oh, a nice boy drawing gothic stuff. I don't understand this." Because I was into tattoos and everything else back then, and started drawing gothic things and graffiti and everything. And then they asked me to do a class for them.
One man's graffiti is another man's street art.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
I've had that argument with a few folk before.
Aye,
yeah, because you used to see it, obviously, living in the city for so long, folk would tag anything and everything. If it was whitewashed and it was clean, it would just get tagged. It was just like a blank canvas to these boys, right?
Exactly.
So what I used to start saying, well, whoa, get in a street artist to cover it, and then they'll stop tagging it because somebody else's art's on it. And it's a very true thing. I've seen it. the mess, or what people deem as a mess, somebody just writing their tag like LAC, LEC, or however you would tag.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? But if they're putting a bit of art on it and making it look colourful, like I says to you, I should have got you to put a sheepdog on the side of that building. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. And like you see in Cowden Beef in Glasgow and everything like that, that very seldom gets any more art added to it.
I know, because you see a lot more in Aberdeen than I knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Aberdeen made a big thing of it, didn't they? They had a whole week or something like that.
They've got new art.
Is it every year they do
It's
that?
every year they get
right.
new artists and everything else.
Aye.
And then we've got a couple of legal walls now there as well.
Yeah.
And a few places, it's still, you just paint over it and then it's just a white thing and then graffiti over it. And then they wait 6 months, then you do it again.
Sorry, I've took you away forward now, so
that's all right.
You're doing your graffiti and your gothic stuff. How did you progress through that then?
Well, basically, as I progressed that, started going out, started doing more of it on canvases, a lot more with the spray paints. Because I had some spray paints, but it wasn't like like the proper acrylic. It was more
like Tony Art. Here's one he prepared earlier.
Oh yeah, here we go. So here you go. There's a canner for you there. See, this is the kind of stuff that I do. And this is me in the mornings, if you can actually see it. So even says fit like.
Fit like. I should have said that to you when you go. Fit like fool's your dues, neighbour.
That's why I said.
I missed a trick there.
I know that, and I missed a trick saying, "I feel like a day, cheap
like the day cheapers."
Yeah.
Aye. So the gothic stuff and that. Sorry, I took you off on one again the minute you mentioned the cans.
That's all right. But then the cans were like, like the $2.99 ones from like Auto Care and all that. And it's like it was all the stuff you could afford back then. It was like the cheap ones. Aye. So I started learning with that, and then afterwards it was progressing, and then it was just a few times doing that in Aberdeen when I started to hang about with a few folk, and then afterwards I was like, ooh, I better stop because otherwise I'm going to get caught here at some point.
Right.
So then I kind of like dulled down a bit. Long story short, at that point is when I was getting diagnosed. I was ended up getting not well. I lost so much weight.
Right.
My mum and dad noticed because every time I was eating something, so I went straight to the toilet.
Right. Okay.
They thought I was being sick because they thought I was
eating disorder, sort of making yourself sick.
They thought I was that for a start, and then it was just when I says I'm passing blood.
All right.
And my mum was like, "What?" I was like, "I'm passing blood a lot now."
Right. What age are you here?
Right now, I am just about to turn 20.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And when the docs, they gave me the camera up there.
Aye.
And I was like, it's not a nice thing. It's not a nice thing. Oh. Especially when they're pumping the air in you. You're like, oh, just get out, man, get it out.
Yeah. It's no bad enough. Aye.
No, and then, especially in front of nurses and that. And I feel sorry for that nurse.
And you're a young man, you're in your 20s.
I know. And I felt sorry for the nurse who was holding my hand, because I must have broken at least her hand in half, I think I did. Because she says, hey, just squeeze my hand. And I was squeezing that hard. I heard something crack, and it wasn't my fingers.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, jeepers. I was like, is this how pregnant women feel?
That's why they say didn't hold hands and stuff like that.
Exactly. I was like, so when they said, oh, you got Crohn's.
So the camera crew up your butt tells you you've got Crohn's.
Yeah.
My cousin will be interested in this because he's a Crohn's sufferer. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, after I had that, they gave me tablets. Some of them was Asacol, Azathioprine. Some of them some of the folk would probably can if you've been on it. Then they give me experiments on other drugs and everything else just to keep me. They said.
So when you're doing that to your tummy, is that like injections?
It was an injection every 6 weeks. I had to go into Aberdeen. And because me still working in the meat factory and everything else, and I said, I need this off. They're like, again? And I'm like, they're not even understanding. I need these injections to stay alive.
Aye.
And I was like, and then plus, with stress working in an environment like that,
Mm-hmm.
that you need to make your quote
Mm.
and everything else, just like, you need this done before 2 o'clock. And
Right.
then it's like, you need to go. It was too much stress. It was, that's another thing that would flare up your Crohn's, was stress.
Stress, right? Okay.
Yeah. And after, it was just one night I still remember this now. It was I was like 22, 23. I was in front of my mum and dad. And my great auntie, my great uncle, they were up visiting from Edinburgh.
Right.
And it was Halloween night of our days.
Uh-huh.
I'd just came from the toilet. I was walking to the kitchen and I just dropped.
All right. Okay.
And my mum and dad were in panic, and I said, I need a doctor now. I need to go.
Uh-huh.
They took me into Aberdeen and everything else, and I still remember this nurse, after my mum and dad left, this nurse says, right, well, let's take up this makeup off you, because she thought it was Halloween. She thought I had makeup on.
Right.
I said,
Okay.
it's not makeup.
Aye.
She was in shock
All
how
right.
grey I was looking. I
Ah.
lost weight so much. She actually thought it was not my bones in my cheeks, but she's seen everything. Like, I was skinny, I got in.
Right. Okay.
And it was just, they said, right, we're not going to operate on you until you're seriously not well,
Uh-huh.
anything like that. Then I end up
So what-
seriously not well.
Aye. So, what's going on there then? When you went into hospital
They-
that time, is it like something's
Something stopping, something was making me really, really not well. I was
Aye.
like, my insides were just like in cramp all the
cramping?
time.
Yeah.
It was,
So, explain a bit about the Crohn's side of it then. What?
right, basically the Crohn's, it was basically from the tail end all the way on the side in there.
Uh-huh.
That was inflamed.
Right. Okay.
It was like
Swollen.
swollen, and basically in the camera, when they did the camera thing for a start, it looked like honeycomb looking things.
Right,
It looked
okay.
like, it looks like thousands of ulcers right in there.
Right. Ulcers, polyps, things like that.
Yeah,
is
it was
it?
all like that right up in
Aye.
there. They said there was like 3 different types of Crohn's there was at a point.
Right.
I said,
Okay.
and I had 2 of them at a time.
Oh wow.
So if I had the third one, it would be like, right, I'll put them in my mouth, and I'll have like thousands of ulcers in your mouth
Oh,
and on
wow.
your tongue. That's how bad one of them was.
Uh-huh.
So I still remember, I actually thought I was on my deathbed, literally.
Right.
I really
Yeah.
was. I actually think, it's like, oh, it's me, I'm going.
Aye.
And then I was being sick almost every night when I was in hospital, and then they're like, that's it, we're going to give you the op.
Right.
I was like, okay.
So the op is
The op's a stoma bag.
right. Okay.
So basically remove, the tail end, you're not going to use that anymore. So
Aye.
basically rip that bit of the intestine and stick it out. And
Uh-huh.
it looks like a rolled up tongue sticking out. That's how they describe it. It's like a
Right.
rolled up tongue sticking out of your gut
Right.
all the
Okay.
time.
Uh-huh.
And when I was getting the op, I felt everything slow right down
Right.
and everything else. But apparently my hair did stop.
Right. Okay.
And I came back again.
Aye.
And I was like, sheesh. I was like, when you said that, I was like, you stopped. So your heart stopped and then you come back again.
Right.
I'm like, what? I was thinking nothing of it, because here's me up and I'm all high up in flipping morphine here.
Morphine.
And here I'm thinking, oh, I'm great.
Aye.
I was like, I can go home now, I can go home. But 2 days after that op and everything else, you feel yourself, you're like, oh, geez, no.
Aye.
And then, well, when you look down, you see this bag here. The first thing I said is like, oh, God. And the nurse says, what's wrong? I says, you shaved my chest. And I was like, I'm going to be a shaver out of this a couple of weeks. I was like, oh, I was like this. I was so glad that I got the op.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you're like this all the time.
So does that operation take away all the cramping, all the pain?
It's basically has, with me,
Uh-huh. Right.
I have got a new recent life, I really have.
Right. Okay.
But I still have to watch it when I eat
Right.
and everything else, because if I eat, for example, sweet corn,
Uh-huh.
shoots through me like a flipping bullet. Bam,
Right.
bam, bam, bam. You feel
Right.
everyone coming out.
Right. Got you.
It's just,
Well, that's what I was going to say. So, look, obviously, not having a stoma, I've got no concept of what's going on inside you now. So I'm guessing, where is it?
basically, you know
What
how...
so it goes. The food still goes into your stomach.
Yeah, it still
You
goes
still
in.
get the nutrients for the food,
Yeah, but not to the part where it starts becoming a solid.
Right. Okay.
It's still it just comes out of me as like. I don't want to put folk off the.
No, it's all right.
You know,
Talk.
It's like ooze coming out.
Right. Okay.
It just comes out.
Is it like mulched food rather than like?
It looks like jars of baby food.
Right. Okay.
That's another thing as you explain it. You know,
Right,
it's just like that. It's just got like
right. People can imagine jars of baby food. So
So
that's what the food goes like through your stomach, turns into this mush.
Yeah.
And before it goes through, what is that tract then that you've had removed then? I guess.
It'll be the from the tail end of that. What's the large? Is that the large
intestine?
Is the large intestine? I can't remember how it goes. It's like it's either large or small. No, it's not a small. It's part of the small, I think it is, because that's where it goes to the end, isn't it? If I remember right.
I'm no biologist. I should have stuck in better at school, but I didn't.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy. Anybody out there, please do.
So
I can't remember.
Intestine then, so it's part of that.
Yeah, it's basically that.
So the large or the small gets removed then?
Yeah, because there's some people get at least like a foot or something like that removed or something like that. Because I know a few people, I've actually met a few. Before I had my op, I was met by another lad from Stonehaven who had it.
Right.
And he says it's the best thing that's ever happened to him.
Right, okay.
And that's got me, my mum and dad okay with that. But my mum was still weary.
You're still a young man at this age as well.
Yeah, I'm
20, 21, 22?
I'm 23. I was to get this up.
A hard thing for a young man to take.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And my mum was like, he's not going to get a girlfriend. No one will... You know, she's thinking this, that no one's going to go out with a lad with an illness, no one's going to hear this.
Be saying, like Jimmy, we're stuck with him forever.
Oh, she was like, I don't think she would worry if I was still living there yet, I don't think. But here's me, I was like, right, after my op, I was still off my work for a good while, and I was trying to do normal things and everything else, like, because... I was off my work for a year before with illness and that. I was getting signed off like 3 months at a time. Yeah. And then go back to work for a fortnight and go back to square one again. I was like that.
Right, okay.
That's how bad it was. And then when I got the op, I was feeling much better. I was feeling more
once you'd recovered for the operation,
Yeah, I was feeling it. And then, but I was like, I was less tired. I was feeling less tired. I was like, I hadn't felt like this in ages.
Right, okay. So you're feeling more energy out of the food that you're consuming and everything.
Yeah, because it wasn't just shooting right through me. And then we had, Mum was making more like pasta stuff and everything else, just to that kind of stuff, more like chicken and some fish, everything else.
You able to start eating normal food again?
Yeah, I was.
Because you would have had to have avoided loads of stuff, I guess.
There was a lot of stuff, and the weirdest thing was I was taking a bag with my spare boxers and trousers and everything else with my. Right. No matter where I went, I had to take that with my. I was like, even loose change in case I couldn't get into the flipping public toilets.
Oh yeah.
I was but now I've been given I was given a radar key,
right,
which is for any disabled toilets, even if they're locked. It's like you can go into them.
Right. Okay.
I was like, so any public toilet that has a radar key, you can go into.
You can go into it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, even if you were out.
But this is like pre-op.
This was pre-op as well as op.
As well as post, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was given this key. I was like, all right, because then I can go in, change if I had to change it.
Right.
Because it's
like
I
was going to ask you about that in a minute, actually, about that. So it's a stick-on bag. I know that.
Yeah.
How? I know it sticks onto you, but there's got to be some sort of connecting.
Right, basically...
Let's get right... We might as well. We're talking about it. And I haven't got a clue, and I'm really interested in how this works for you.
Basically, the bag itself has got a big sticky pad in the back of it. But you cut a circle inside it. Yeah, so it comes in... It shows you sizes, but it's the size of your stomach... Well, your bit sticking out. Your gut sticking out. So mine's about the size of a 50p. Sticks out of my... And it sticks out.
And this is a bit of your...
my bowel coming out.
Right, okay.
And it's a bit, it says on 50p, and it sticks out probably about an inch. It sticks out.
And is it like... Is it tube-like? Is it flappy, floppy? Is it?
No, it's
Is it like an inner tube out of a bike or something? Is it?
No, it's like a rolled up tongue sticking out.
A rolled up tongue, right? Okay.
It looks like that.
But I mean, is it rubbery? Is it?
It's you can touch it, but I don't feel it.
You don't feel it. Oh,
No, I can touch it, and I'm like, it's like numb.
Right.
It's so numb. You go around, you're like. It's like
I'm not changing it for you, sort of thing.
No,
aye.
It's like that, and it sticks out, and they've operated like so that it's like stays there.
Right.
So I don't know if they've sealed my skin around it to keep it out soon if I going in. It's like that, and
so obviously you cut your wee bit on your bag.
I cut my wee bag thing to the size of it and everything else, and then. It's the fact that I had to shave round it as well because I'm a hairy bugger.
Right, so you're a hairy monkey, right? Okay.
Basically.
So you're regularly having.
I have to every so often when it's like a second.
Brings
day.
a whole new meaning to a sack back and crack.
Yeah, it does.
My crack's here, pal.
Aye, there's a bag as well. I got the bag and the sack. There you go.
Look, jokes aside, this is the way men deal with this sort of shit. We joke about it, right? But
exactly.
It's a serious fucking thing,
I
get that.
I know, but it's still weird to this day because I had to ask my dad to hold my stuff from at one point because I couldn't bend down after my up because they've got a hole. I've got a hole there ahead, and then they cut about a 4-inch. They had keyhole surgery to me. They never cut my belly up or anything like that.
Just in a couple of holes and
and I was like. When I go home and everything else, I was walking around with a walking stick trying to stand up straight. Because I still remember when the boy who came from Stony to help me say he's got the up, he says, stand up straight. He says, stand up straight. He says, for healing. Because if you don't, he says, your body's going to heal. If you're bending over all the time for the pain and everything else, your body's going to walk around like you're going to be like the hunchback of Notre Dame.
You're going to heal hunched over.
He says, and that's you. He says, but if you keep on standing up straight after you're up and everything else and everything you do, he says, then your body's going to heal that position.
Makes sense.
I was like, okay, so I'll do that. So I had a walking stick for a wee while and everything else, and then my mum and dad even got a new bed and everything else from me because they said, there you go, this is a better bed for you and everything else for now. It's been happened. As soon as I go into the bed and everything else, I was like, okay, it was nice and everything else. Even put in BT Vision in my bedroom. I was like, here's me thinking, it's like, this is great.
Spoiled now,
I'm getting spelled here now. And then my dad's like, all right, okay. So after 2 days after coming home, I was in pain. I was no wheel at all.
Right.
Doctor comes. And he says, right. He said, here you go. He says, right, flip over. And I was like, well, I can't flip over. And he just basically moves the quilt. He says, moves me to the side and injects me something in my backside. And I says, look, at this point, I can't feel my backside. So I've got no feeling after this. I have no feeling in my bum.
Right, okay.
And then he said, there you go. He says, wait a couple of hours and you should feel better. I was like, okay. My dad stayed with me and we were watching some Animal Planet or something like that, I can't remember. And then all of a sudden I was like, Dad, you can what? And he says, I see different colours. Whoa. And then I was like, this in my hand. I said, I've got 6 hands. My dad's like, you're high. I was like, this is what it feels like, is it?
It's a morphine again.
Yeah, I was like, I had no clue. I was seeing him with 6 or 7 hands. I was like, ooh. And then afterwards, knockout, wake up, I'm okay.
Better,
But to get out of my bed, I needed a brush.
Right.
I actually needed a brush to come out of bed.
Right, okay.
Just to pull myself out. I couldn't go quick enough to the toilet. I was like, I need the toilet quick.
Aye. So you're still, obviously, a stoma doesn't deal with urine, so you're still needing a pee every now and again.
Oh,
like
aye.
anybody.
Oh,
like
aye,
anybody,
just like
right?
anybody, aye.
So back to this bag, right, because we never finished it.
Oh, aye.
You're cutting the 50 pence piece bit on
Aye.
the bag, sticking it to you.
Yeah.
And, I mean, is that enough? Is that sticky stuff enough? Or
no,
are you having to strap it to you?
I normally have a guard
right, okay.
around me.
Yeah, aye.
Normally. It's almost like a shin guard.
Aye.
But today I didn't need it because it's staying on. It's staying on.
Aye.
So I was like, right. I said, here you go, it's fine enough. And that protects it, especially the kind of work I'm doing now. And
Aye. So what's the limitations of that on you? Like, I'm guessing you're not going swimming.
I can go swimming.
Right. Okay.
I can easily go swimming.
Right.
As long as but it's because I'm embarrassed with this thing sometimes.
Aye.
But I wear a t-shirt.
But that's why you're talking about it today, is to get rid of this. You know, this is life for a lot of people.
I know.
And I mean, you and I know another guy. I mean, you'll know more people than me, but
yeah,
we've got a mutual friend that's also got a stoma.
Yeah,
and
I can still go swimming.
Right. Okay.
That, but I wear a t-shirt when I go to public swim, because then, to me, well, I haven't been swimming this year at all yet. But normally I would wear a t-shirt. I wear my baggy trunks, and I go swimming. I can do the laps.
No bother. So
I can do no bother.
Doesn't inhibit that side.
No, it's just a bit after you've done your swimming session and anything else, you just take that off and put a new one on. That's the only.
So what about guys watching this? Maybe, who knows? There might be somebody that's about to go for this operation. Like, so what does it not stop you doing? Like, let's face it, every man's question is going to be sex life. Now, and I apologise, my partner's here, but is it a problem? Let's just say, is it a problem, not a problem?
It's not a problem.
Right, okay. So it doesn't affect anything in that department at all.
No,
right.
This
isn't for my benefit.
In my case, no, it's not.
Right, okay. So probably not in many folks' cases then.
Put it this way, a year after my op, I met my missus.
Right, aye.
And a year after I've known her, we had our first bairn.
Right. So how did you approach that with her? Does she know about it?
Right.
Aye.
I met...
Guys will want to know this. Guys that are going for this will want to know.
I know.
Women might as well, but because we're men, I'm saying men.
Aye. No, we're both monkeys.
Monkeys, aye.
So,
I get it.
But I met my missus off the internet.
Right, okay.
We met in Aberdeen.
Uh-huh.
And when we were chatting and everything else and that, and then I said to her, like, before we go any further, I've got a bag.
Uh-huh.
And then she says, well, before she's going to bother, she's got scars.
I've got my bag too, it's Thursday.
True enough, aye. But I said to her, I've got a bag, it's sticking
Louis Vuitton.
I said, no. I says, I've got Valentino here. There you go. I got a Valentino bag. There you go.
Good, son. Good.
But she was all right with it. And then she had her flaws, I had my flaws.
Yeah.
And then before we know it, here you go. One thing led to another. And then we've been together. Hang on, 13, 14. 15 years now.
So the good thing is you can tell that camera with the red dot on it to anybody that's going to go for this operation that you're proof that it does not affect your sex life. It does not affect you meeting someone. It does. It does not. It
does not affect anything. You basically have your own life back, and you can still swim, you can still do sports, as long as you've even got a guard or something to protect it, basically. And no matter what, it's like there's always a help with your stoma nurse or your doctor or anybody else who's got the same kind of virus. Oh, geez. Same stoma. There's different sizes of stoma. You also get different brands and everything else. You can actually speak to anybody who's actually in that area, from stoma nurses to their suppliers who give you the bags, to chemists. You go to chemists and everything else. You even get sprays and everything else. Right. Just to even hide that smell.
That was one of my questions I was going to come to, because I'm sure anybody that's watching will have that. Is there a smell? Because since you've been in this room, I cannot smell a single thing. There is nothing to deter me. There's nothing pointing me in that direction. And we're in a pretty closed room that's quite warm.
Yep.
So what's your thing there then? What's with the smell? What are you thinking? What's
basically
your experience, rather?
Basically it's this. It's like, right, if your bag will only start peeling away if you're sweating a lot.
Right, okay.
That's why I've noticed.
Right.
Now, it'll start away and it'll probably release that little edge, and you will smell.
Right.
That's the only time you will, and then you'll be like, that's when you know that you either need to go away, reattach to another thing, or you can just do this. You can just put your guard thing on, and it'll stay there if you don't have it. And but then before you doing that, is make sure that just give it a wee spray of deodorant or something like that. That's what I do.
Right.
But
and what we're saying, smell, is it just like a fart?
No.
It's okay.
Basically sewage works.
Right. Okay. So it's a strong fart.
Yes, it is.
Right.
But see, when you fart,
when
I fart, I was like, you would hear it, but you would never smell it.
Right. Okay.
You'll never smell it unless I remove the bag off my there.
So the Stoma bag, then not only food's going in there, but gases are going in there as well. Then obviously, I guess.
Yeah. So I found out the hard way when I was drinking a few pints after getting it.
Right.
And then I'm like, I'm like a flipping hot air balloon.
I was going to say that as well, was like fizzy drinks, stuff like that. When you're taking in gas, it's got to go somewhere.
It's going to go somewhere. I was like, well, if it can't go out there, it's another way. It goes up the way again.
Right. Okay.
That's what another thing. That's the only another downside is the fact.
Yeah.
It would get choked.
Right.
If it ever gets choked, there's only another one place it'll go, and it's going back the way again.
Right. Okay.
And you'll get that if you are really, really stressed.
Right.
That's the only other time I've realised that, because recently I was stressed of a certain thing and everything else, and I was physically sick.
Right.
And I knew fine because this thing was emptying, and I was like, oh no, so I know fine, I'm stressed myself.
Right.
Not well.
Right.
And as you know, the saying is like, you stress yourself sick. That's exactly what happened.
Right.
But then after that happened, everything was fine. This was just that one gag. That was it. And then you were fine afterwards. You're like, right, I'm okay. I'm not stressed now. I'm fine now. And then you sat over a while, and so then you started feeling that empty. And you're like, oh, that's it. I'm okay now.
It's starting right. And so I guess you can feel that. Happening.
You can
feel the
it.
bag inflating, or do you feel it?
You kind of feel that, as if you were like trying to burst your own spot. Kind of feel.
All right, okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, kind of.
It's like the pressure.
Is that the bag pressurising?
It's like it's your belly.
Right.
It's like that. It's like feeling like that.
Right.
As if you were like burst open a bag of crisps. It feels like that. That's the only kind of size you would think.
Right. Okay.
And then once it pops, you get that release. You get that feel. You're like you're fine.
Wow.
Afterwards. Right. But then if it doesn't go that way, it'll just come back up the way.
Right. So you'll either puke or.
Yeah. But I noticed there's a few drinks that I can't even have anymore because.
Right. So so limitations then. So alcohol is kind of, it's not the best thing for any of us anyway. Let's face it.
Do
you know what I mean? So somebody with a stoma, alcohol is it's not a complete no by the sounds of it, but
it's near no. It's near no.
You just got to watch what you.
It's just the fact that Miller's beer, I can't have that.
Right.
I know fine I can't have that because I'm violently inebriable.
Right. Okay.
I can't have peanuts.
Big no.
That's a big no. Chocolate, I cannot have that anywhere now. Nah. I tried every chocolate you can think of, and still, I'm inebriable.
Right, okay.
Found out at Christmas times. That's the only time I found it.
Right, okay.
Which is the worst time to try it.
Right.
Sweet corn, unless you want to feel every sweet corn coming out of you, then, there you go. I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no.
No.
There you go.
But just how it's affecting you, I guess. I guess everybody will be slightly different, but...
Yeah, there is some folk who probably think that. Some folk, there's like our mutual friend who's got to that. Yeah. It's like for him to clear something out, he drinks heaps of cola.
Right, okay.
Me, I can drink one can of Monster and that's me cleared.
Right, okay.
And so, you feel it, and that's it. But that depends. I was like, other people have got their own ways. I was like, same with you probably feel it's like a hot bath would probably help you.
Right.
It's almost, I can't believe I'm going to say this, it's almost like if you're in period pains. It's a bit like that, I would think. The wife used to probably have a stoma bag, would probably agree on that one.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. But it all depends. how you're feeling and how you'd actually take it on, you know. Basically, it's like it's almost like you're trying to second guess yourself rather than go straight to a doctor and he will have no clue what the hell they're on about because they aren't going through it. Unless you've got a doctor who does have one, then they'll know.
You'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
It's just this is
why you wanted to talk about it today as well, though. I mean, that amongst other things. I mean, we're only just at the stoma part, but but you wanted to let people know.
Yeah, because it doesn't.
What? It's all right. Keep going.
From things. It's okay. It doesn't stop you from things, and it doesn't stop you from things, but it keeps on doing other things from. As you say that. I forgot what I thought.
Sorry, that mic's put you right.
It did, didn't it? Right, like I was. There you go. I've got a new.
Good. We're back in the room.
We're back in the room now. Right. The stoma doesn't stop you from doing the things you really want to try and do. It's like I want to become my own boss.
Right.
I want to be my own boss for doing my things that I want to do, as in being an upcycler, a mural artist, a graffiti artist, a workshop person. I want to do that. And I says, there you go. Even though I'm dyslexic and all, so it doesn't help. But then I've seen a lot of folk who've got dyslexic, who've got their own businesses and everything else. Yeah. That's not stopping them. That's not stopping me.
No.
And I'm giving my word out for anything from. I said I do a lot of things for a lot of folk and everything else, and everybody knows that I'm that person who would say, yeah, I would do it, and everything else. There you go.
I think you were doing some skate park art recently as
well. I'm still doing that because due to the fact the weather didn't help.
It's winter.
Yeah, because at that point, I've still got the middle bit to do, and a couple of the flat parts as well, because there's actually they're still looking forward for me to finishing it off, and then afterwards, I'm going to be doing workshops.
Right. So we flipped from stoma right into art here.
I know,
and there was a bit I wanted to finish off with the stoma bag thing. Was the mental health? Was there mental health issues came from that? Were you struggling? Because you're a young man at this point still. So I'm thinking as a young man, I would be struggling. Yeah. Somehow. And I'd be trying to deal with that somehow. How did you get through all of that then? You're recovered. You're back on your feet. How is it affecting the mental health?
When I was on the medication before the bag, put it this way, I was on 94 tablets a day, near enough.
Right, with the Crohn's.
Yeah. And I was the steroids, tablets, the Azacol, the azathioprine, all that stuff. And it was an average of that, so it was about a day. It was, and
that's all pharmaceutical drugs, so they've got side effects, whether you like it or no. Some of them will be good, some will be bad.
Yeah, one of them was my blood count was one of them. That was definitely that one. And it was just one day that I don't know what came over my lad this day. It was a fact that it was a nice day and everything else, and I couldn't go out.
Right.
Because you couldn't go too far away from your blooming toilet. So it was. My mum was away working. My dad's working. My brother's near to him. He's away working and all. And I lined up every tablet that I had in the breakfast bar. I did. And I was going to take a ma.
Right.
One go. As in, I'm not caring what's going to happen to me. I've had enough. I heard my mum come in.
Right.
I heard my mum come in because there was a big flipping solid door gate. We've got in the back door. I then quickly put all my tablets back in the boxes and that, and put it in the cupboard.
Right. This is the Crohn's driving you to that.
Yes.
Yeah. the pain.
The pain, I was taking no more of it. I really was not. And then my mum says, I said, I don't want to be home by myself anymore.
Right.
She's like, fit why no? I says, I just don't know.
We should say fit why is, oh son, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fit why. She was
Just
like
the
that.
Dorican you coming
Yeah,
I
know.
Anyway, sorry.
Right.
It's not time to joke, I know.
Don't worry. But, she says, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, can we have somebody here? Now, my mum's late cousin used to come up.
Right.
And I didn't care. I was like, as long as I had somebody in the house, I was happy.
Aye.
I was all right.
You weren't left with your own wee thoughts.
No.
Yeah.
No. And then afterwards, my dad was on holiday at one point for 2 weeks and all that. And I was like, I felt all right. I was all right. I said, as long as somebody was in the house, I was all right. Because that was driving me to flipping suicide.
Right.
I really was. If my mum never came home 10 minutes early that day, I guarantee you, I knew fine that probably I would have had them tablets.
Right, okay.
And I just heard her coming in, and I was like, no, put him in quick. This is because I didn't want her to worry anymore.
Right.
I was like, as long as she's promised me that somebody would come, and she was all right. Next day, it started happening. There you go. I was fine. And then after that, after the day was here, it was like my mind was going back to my art.
Right.
It really was. Start sketching and books and books and books. And then back into... My mum and dad built a little studio at the bottom of the garden.
Right.
We did. It was like, it's a long shed. I've got one part, my dad's got one part, my brother had another part.
Right.
So I had this part myself. And this was my little sanctuary, basically this was. And afterwards, I started going down there more often and everything else, started drawing more, started watching tattooing shows, graffiti and everything else again. Get my mind back into the thing that settled me, basically. It was art. Art was the thing that got my mind out. I don't care if it took me half an hour. I don't care if it took me about 3 hours to draw or something like that. That was me. That was my little zone.
So did you find when you got into the art then you didn't feel alone then because something was channeling through you, through the pen, onto the paper. So you're no longer on your own, you're creating.
Exactly, because I was just creating I was creating the thing that I wanted to be, as in...
You wanted to keep that promise for Uncle Bob and all, So.
Exactly, aye. Because I said, I knew fine. If I didn't do this, if I didn't do what I would want to do, I said, I knew fine that I would probably just be in a corner and a flipping, in a corner of a room. I said, white pads and nothing else in a stage jacket. I said, that's probably how I've probably ended up like, probably. But if I had kept on, if I keep on doing what I love doing, then everything's cushy, as I say.
Aye.
So, but I, even my wife's like, do some art and anything else. And I said, that helps you. I was like, I know it does. I said, so when I'm stressed out with something at work, go straight in my book, start drawing. Just
start drawing, son.
Yeah. I was like, every time, draw a wee bit. I said, I'm only an hour by myself home before the wife and kids come home anyway. So I just doodle. Also, I got to do a quick doodle and all that.
The doodles. I've got a pile of doodles.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a couple of them lying about in this room.
I noticed that. I did notice that.
Aye.
But here you go.
So the art really is helping you with your mental health, with Stoma.
Yeah.
Get over the Crohn's, everything like that.
That's
work. Aye, that's that one. It's time for that one.
Yeah.
So let's not blame it all on the Stoma, but it does create an issue in your life where you're having to watch what job you do, I guess, and
yeah. But then a lot of folk forget that you've got it.
Right. Okay.
Put it this way: the work that I do now, I'm 10, 15 years older than these lads.
Right. Okay.
I'm heavy lifting things.
Aye.
And I'm just looked at myself and I was like, well, you look at them, you actually think some of them are the same age as me, but they're not.
Aye.
And I was like, I must have had a flipping. I said, you must have had a bad paper route than I had. Honestly,
Yeah.
like that. But I do a lot of stuff and everything else, and then because of being dyslexic and all that, and right, it's like you give me a sentence to read or something like that. It's like I can read it in the head, but saying it out, I say it in my tongue. I said I write it down in my tongue, and I write it down in my tongue, and sometimes you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Were you diagnosed as a kid with that?
Nah,
Me neither.
Nah, but I can fine.
Yeah.
I said I can fine, but then it's like I you had the little.
I didn't read because of it.
That's the thing.
I've never read it. I've read one book, but it took me ages. It would probably take a normal person maybe a few days. It would take me a month to try and read it. Then, wait a minute, what did that last page say?
Yeah.
What did that say? How have we got here? Where am I?
I'm like an but then here's the thing with me. I said I remember being asked now because of being dyslexic and everything else. But I said I knew fine it was that. If I read a book and everything else, I write down a word that I don't understand what it means. I write it down.
Aye.
And then if I can't say it out, but I can say it in my head, I know fine I can say it. But it's trying to say it in my tongue? Nah.
No.
But ever since leaving the school and that, I do read the books, but as you say, it takes less longer.
Aye.
But it took me 12 months to read a book that has only like 15 chapters in it.
Aye.
That's how long it took me. But then, since
I'm at the point where I've actually just stopped reading completely.
Aye.
I'll read something if I really, really have to read it, and then I'll sit and I'll almost finger it and see if it's white on black.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm knackered. If it's white on black, I couldn't sit and read something white and black to used to.
Nah.
I couldn't sit and read it to you because it'd just be all over the place. And then I'll see things on a billboard and stuff like that, and I'll read it, and I thought that, and she'll tell you, I say to her things like, I thought that just said something else.
Yeah.
But, you jumbling up the whole lot.
I know, it's bad enough. When I'm in if I'm in a sales room,
Aye.
it's when I'm in if I'm in sales room 2 or sales room 3 in my work, and the numbers are always the wrong way around.
Right. So you get it with numbers as well?
I get it with numbers.
I'm fine with numbers. I was always good with numbers.
But see when it's writing upside down, I can read it.
Jesus Christ.
I can. It's like this. It's like I'm Buzz. Isa from Still Game, and she can read upside down in the envelope.
Yep.
That's how I am. I can read it upside down.
I've got to get the black onto orange or yellow or something like that to be able to keep it for swimming. It just swims all over the place.
I can just read it. If
Upside down's a new one though.
Oh, I can just read it. Just read it, and then, but I was able to do that even when my dad used to read the paper. I still had to say, I was like, oh, that's a nice job here for £13 an hour. And my dad says, where the heck are you reading that? And I was like, yeah. And he says, how the heck can you see it?
Oh, it's upside down at the back, folded over.
I just managed to read it just. I was like, my dad's like, oh, well, that's some skill. I said, but I'm good at doing it. But it's saying it out loud with a few folk, because then you feel that's degrading.
But no nowadays though. Everybody wants a balloon and a badge to, I've got a tattoo now. Name your labels for a reason. Because you're not allowed a balloon and a badge in here anymore. It's like, talk about it, face it, get it out. It is what it is. You are what you are, and it is what it was. It's as simple as that.
Exactly. That's why I say an ally. But then it depends on the work you're in. I knew. Because if you didn't look the part, you didn't get it. That's why I was told that. And then,
well, you look like an artist now. You look like a creator.
I knew I look like a creator, but it's just the fact that now when I started working at that place where I'm now, I had all my good stuff on again, and all that. Then afterwards, I said, hey, there was just a day, I flipping down a fella doing a flight of stairs with a flipping wardrobe in my arms. And I says, I ripped open my flipping waistcoat and all that. And I was like, what the heck, I'm only wearing my waistcoat and shirt anywhere here. And I says, just wore, like this kind of shirt, hoodie, work trousers, work beats. And I was like, there you go. I says,
Don't name the place that you work, but the type of place you work.
An auctioneers.
An auctioneers, right? Aye. So you're moving stuff about all the time.
Aye.
Right. Okay.
And
do you find that growing up and being in jobs? Because I've got a bad back now. I must admit, right now I'm no moaning about it. It's just life, right? It's just what I've went through. Because I couldn't read and write so well, I could lift things.
Aye.
Were you always the one? I'll say to folk, like, look, give me a shout when you need something lifted and moved, and I'll do that. But you write, you read, I'll lift, move heavy shit.
Aye, it's like the phrase that I remember somebody saying to me. He does the talking, I do the walking.
Well,
I was like, here you go. There's that, and I was like,
because I'll say it here at the house all the time. I'll do the lifting and carrying. Just use all the technical stuff.
Aye, I was like the other day, missus. I'm setting up for a gala thing for a bide, just to get.
That's where he lives, by the way.
What, a gala?
Where you bide?
Oh, where I live. That's right. Yes, sorry. Where I bide is where I live. God almighty.
Sorry, I'm 55. I'll get you.
Well, you get me. That's all right. Eh? But for I live, they're doing a gala, and I had to ask my missus, right, if I were right here, what do I do here? And because I'm not good with forms. I said, I'm not good with I said, I used to be good. I used to be so good at typing up stuff and everything else. And it was because I'm not in a job that I'm doing it. I says, before COVID, I was in marketing.
Right.
And that. And then...
Do you not find that you pick up stuff, though, through repetition?
Aye.
Repetition, yeah. Because I'm like that. I mean, the first time I go to do something, murder.
Yeah.
But then if I do it again, right, okay, I remember that for the last time, you'd put that there, that there. And then just repetition of that helps you.
Yeah, it does, because, but the thing is this, if the job I'm in I knew, if I was doing it all the time, I would do it.
Right.
But because I'm not given the chance, some of the stuff, I'm not going to be doing it.
Right.
But then, I'm being given the chance to do the thing that I love doing all the time for other folk, that I'm going to do it. I'm going to take that chance.
Right.
This is because it's something I love.
This is the art now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aye, it's because I've been asked to do the skate park. There you go. I'm doing it. I've been asked to do one of the FIBA team that's their containers.
Right.
I've been asked to do that. Okay, I'll do that job. I've been asked to do workshops. Yeah, do that.
So just a round peg in the wrong square hole.
Yeah.
Aye.
That's exactly for what I'm now.
Right.
This is because since moving down for what I am now, I'm getting more noticed though.
Right.
I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
If I was doing it for a start, I guarantee you probably things would be different.
Right, okay.
Because I always say that to myself, I was like, if I wasn't stuck up there for 15 years in a job that basically I've asked for stuff.
Aye.
Asked them.
But you are where you are now, and you're not an old man.
No.
So there's no reason for you to just start now and get that art, the passion, what you've wanted to do all your days.
Exactly.
Because you'll never work another day in your life when you're doing your art. Because you love it. You're passionate about it.
Exactly. Because if I get here, I always say this, I'm hitting my goals this year. I am. I said already, I've had 3 of the goals. 3 out of the 10 goals I've had so far. So I've done them. Now, the battle is definitely has begun. So there you go. So it's going to carry on.
So what's holding you back then? What's the stumbling blocks now for you going full on artist? Is it mortgage, wife, Wayne's, what?
Money.
That's
the root of all evil.
So
there you go.
So what is that? Is that a mortgage? Are you mortgaged?
No. I haven't got my own house.
Right, okay.
I'm rent. I rent my own house. And
can you just go into do group work, classes, stuff like that?
That's, I'm trying to do something like that as well. But it's just finding it being closer to you.
Right, okay.
They 50 mile away or 30 mile. Well, if it's 30 mile away, it's doable.
Right.
But it's a thing that some of them are not always free.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't. It's like, you feel like it's like, well, if am I going to learn from here?
Right.
But then I'm actually asking people who've been to it if they've learned anything from it. there's a few people I know that have been to a few workshops, business workshops and everything
How
else.
old are you now?
I'm 38.
38. And you've been drawing and writing, doodling and doing art all your life so far.
Yeah.
What do you need to go and learn? You know at the stage where you can be teaching folk.
Yeah, that's what I am.
Exactly.
That's what I'm doing the workshops.
The workshops, right, okay.
Yeah, the workshop. I done a workshop a couple of weeks back, and the kids loved it.
Right, okay.
The kids loved it.
So you've seen kids, so community or schools or...
It's community. It was
Community stuff.
it's a community one. And then afterwards, I've posted up on Facebook a few things in my local area. And already I've got about 50 other people who would love to do a workshop.
Right, okay.
It's just finding a place around about a time of like summer holiday time and everything else where everything is doable.
Right, okay.
Because when everything's doable, I says it'll be like a long week or a weekend. I'll be doing these workshops during like a summertime or anything like that. I just need the right numbers and everything else. Now I've got over 50 odd people saying aye to it, but then a few of them.
A lot of the mums and dads will be working. They'll need somewhere for the bairns to go during the holidays.
Exactly.
Does that not give you these? What did they used to call them? No after school clubs, but like
you still get
summer camp type thing.
It's still
art
after
camp or something. We used to do a skate camp. Well, we did it once, but
yeah,
it was a bit difficult to get coaches. But like what you're saying, you could have an art camp. You could have.
Exactly.
I'm not saying camp where they all come and live with you. I mean just during the day when mum and dad's at school. Okay, what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean that sort of.
Yeah. I was going to try and do something like that. It's trying to find an actual place that actually would help me.
Community hall's no up for it, round about you?
The only community hall is actually going to be having an after school club there.
Anyway.
Because my wife works there.
Captive audience.
I know, but here you go. too much things happening in that place.
Okay.
Too much things happening in that actual community.
You'll need your space, I guess,
I will need
for the art.
I know, but then I don't think they will allow me to make a mess of that place either. Because who runs it, I can't really say. But
don't say. That's fine.
They'll be like, oh no, it's too messy.
And is that like a community space, or is that just somebody's?
It's just a community, a proper, it is a community, but it's a religious community.
Right. Okay.
But
what about the other?
The other ones, the other places around about are either too small,
right,
or they cost too much,
right.
Especially if you're going to rent it for a day or two, or even a week. I was like, so then the mum and dads will wonder why I'm charging this much. It's always that. That's what I was going through my mind. Is like, if I put it to this, I was like, will they actually love it? This? Will they do this? No, because
sounds like you need to crowdfund for your own wee container.
Exactly.
Or porta cabin.
That's why.
On the side of somewhere.
That's why I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of other things, other places, and everything else. And I have been asked by a farmer. I've asked a farmer.
A barn, even better.
Exactly. So
as long as it's close and everybody can get to it easy. That's
exactly. That's why I was trying to get in close enough.
Aye.
I know, fine. There's a couple of big ones here, just literally where I am, and then I can start doing things there.
Right. Okay.
Especially from young kids to adults if they want to learn.
Right.
Because here you go. Art's a great thing. It's a great therapy, as you know.
It is.
And either way, I was like, you can. Because my goal.
I see it being used all the time. I see it in Alan's stuff. I hear it for you. I hear it for other folk. I've seen it in other people. I was dropped into a Heal Scotland thing locally here on Sky, and they were holding an event, and I'd spoke to them about artists. They were, we've got one artist coming. We need more artists. We need more artists. Stuff like that. So, art therapy, it's definitely something. There's definitely something in it. The Scheme and Livy, there's a group of boys there. They hold an art therapy type class as well. So it's definitely something I've seen that clearly works. So it's how you break into it, how you get paid from it. I understand that you've got to eat, pay the bills. I get it.
Exactly.
How is the question?
That's the $1 million question.
But 50 folk all paying a $5, that's a couple of quid.
Exactly.
And if it's a $5 a day, 50 folk, can you accommodate 50 folk? Well, that's the other thing.
You have to drop it in the sections. That's the thing. That's what I probably have to do. Because I always said, I always said that if I ever make it and anything like that, then I'll manage to get my own little place to actually do it, and then I can get more folk to come and do things and offer it. Because I've always seen myself having a big studio.
Yeah.
A big studio. I said I don't care if it's just a warehouse or something like that. I would love to have something like that big, and just hate in sections and everything else, little like cubics or little containers and everything else to say, here you go, graffiti these containers, best in wins, here you go, whatever. Anything like that.
I was in a creative art space recently with Alan. He was invited to this guy's, and it was a guy with, he was using art to assist him with his mental health. And we went to see it, and it was in Falkirk, and round by a carton place, right? I've forgotten the name of it, but it was beside a carton place. But see, it opened up, and downstairs were all these different wee rooms for folk to go and do their art, and then upstairs they had this exhibition space, and that was a community sort of run thing. Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you sort of start something like that? If you're love and passion for it, it's where you are up there. Is there nothing like that round about you at all?
There isn't. The closest things like that is like in Aberdeen.
Aye.
Because here you go, for big things like that. And it's...
Well, that place isn't... It was in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you're no walking to it.
No.
For the community. I think you're either getting a bus or a taxi to it. Maybe you can walk to it for the community, I don't know. Somebody's taking the people there anyway.
Aye, well, there you go. There's a big bus for it, there you go.
But there's obviously a call for it, is what I'm kind of getting at. There's definitely a call for it.
There's definitely, because I always think that being creative and everything else actually helps a lot of people, especially if they want to learn. Even if it's to help benefit for them or to learn a new skill and everything else, anything like that. Because my daughters, they've started doing the same thing as I'm doing.
Yeah.
I was like, but my oldest one is actually better than me. I said, even though I'm like, I look at her sketches, her quick sketches of it. She actually drew a megalodon with a flipping submarine in its mouth.
Right.
And I'm like, I was like, where the hell did you get at? We were watching something with sharks, and she just drew a megalodon. It looked like a great white, but she made it into a megalodon with a little submarine in the mouth. There you go. Yeah. And I'm like, there you go. And just by looking at stuff like that, she just becomes.
Yeah, no bother.
And then my youngest, she started being more art because I can say that's new anyway. But here you go. I'm doing stuff for that kilted competition.
All right, okay.
They gave me a bunch of fake £50 notes.
Right,
and
okay.
No, I can't use them in the shops. Okay, just in case.
You better not use them in the shops.
Oh, jeepers, no. But I've been throwing Highland Coups on them.
Right, okay.
And they're going to be different. I've got like 20 different Highland Coups throwing these £50 notes. Right. And then I still had another couple of fake ones. And my daughter's like, can I have one? I guess you can do one. And my gosh, she really did something on it. Like, she was like, brilliant how she did it. And I'm like, where did you get that idea from? She says, I just copy you.
Just copy you, aye.
And I'm like, I've got a copycat.
Aye. You need to start copying her.
I know, I need to start copying her somehow. But there you go, I've got all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I've got a few other big projects in the line of work with from people who've basically messaged me through my messenger or my WhatsApp. Yeah. And because at one point last year, I went down to Dunbar. Yeah. And I did a gamer's bedroom. I did a graffiti in a gamer's bedroom. Right. And a woman was so chuffed with it and everything else. Like, she actually could pay me an extra £50 on top.
Right, okay.
And I was like...
So is there places people can find your art then? Because that's the other thing. They need to be able to find you to hire you, to give you work. So, yeah. I mean, where do people find you? I mean, tell your camera, wherever it is. I don't know where we're at the day. There you go.
You can find me on TikTok. Go by Triple Aces Artist Lack. That's big capital LAC, which is me. Instagram.
Lee Alexander Carnegie.
There you go.
In relation to Mr. Carnegie in Dunfermline, no? Or wherever he was.
No, need a millionaire, unfortunately.
No.
You also catch me on Facebook page, Triple Aces. You also can catch me on Instagram, which is it's on my bio on my TikTok,
Right.
and it is artist_of_triple_aces. There you go. I know it's a weird.
No, it's good.
It's a weird one.
Do you know when we have multiple forums, we should have that link tree thing where you just go to that one place and then you he's there.
I know.
I'm the same. I get it because I've got multiple things going on. I should have a link tree thing.
I know.
It's so much easier that.
It is. It's like even YouTube. I've got art as well. I've got a YouTube.
Oh, you're on YouTube as well?
Yeah,
right,
it's just copying the videos from TikTok and onto there. I've done that, but then sometimes I've done long videos during lockdown. That's when I started the videos for YouTube, and then my daughter. Well, no, my wife introduced me to TikTok, and I was like, it's not gonna take off. And blooming heck, here you go, over 5,000 followers. Here you go. And I'm like, whoa.
There's something in this art.
There must be something. That's like, this is my bony face, which is beautiful.
So on your TikToks, I've noticed it's a lot of you talking. Am I missing like you doing art and stuff like that? Maybe I didn't see absolutely everything, but
it's like this. It's like I do the odd talking and that. I do the odd funny video, and that. And then I do the odd serious video. And then I do my drawings and that as well. Because I do the art ones when I can film it. But if I can't film it when I'm doing somebody else's project, I can't film it.
Right.
Because they're asking it, can they post it or anything like that? I was like, alright, so they want to be one of a kind. Okay, fair enough. I've had 5 of them in a row. Right. I've also had 5 of those in a row. I was like, I can't really show anybody my draw. Can't show.
So you need to just show them you drawing things for yourself, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. And so at that point, you're like, should I just try and just do a sketch for just a quick sketch for a thing, a sketch a day thing?
That must be hard for your portfolio to say, right, say I says to you, put a sheepdog on the side of that building.
Aye.
But you can't show anybody. I've got it on the side of my effing building.
I know.
You know what I mean? But
it's hard. It is
You're
hard.
the artist, though.
I know, but they're the client. I have to take their
privacy and all
privacy
that.
and everything else.
But how the hell do you build a portfolio then?
It is hard. There's been a few of them like that. I've had this year alone. I've had 5 people literally booking me to do stuff. Right?
Is that in their own home then, or
some of it's in their own home, and some of it's in a business?
Right. Okay. Right.
Now I did that. I was like, okay, fair enough. I'll do this. 3 of them cancelled on me last minute. Not in the space of 48 hours.
Take deposits.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing that.
And then they'll no they'll no cancel you.
I know, I'm starting to be doing that from now on, due to the fact that you're wasting my time, you're wasting my bookings. I was like, I could have been doing something else with the
confirm
family.
the date, I need a 50% deposit. Simple as that. And then they'll stop cancelling you at that point.
I know, because they were like, I can't afford you. But here's a classic one. I did this painting. There was we wings, eagle wings on it, and 2 eyes on it. Now I took a £20 deposit for it. Okay, fair enough. I said I'll take photographs of the working of it. Okay, she did that. I never took a photograph of the last one. I said it's here for you to pick up when you're ready. Okay, you take a photograph of it. I'm like, no, I'm not taking a photograph of it. You need to come and pick it up. And she's like, I haven't got the rest of the cash. She's like, I can come and pick it up now. I says, I can give you later. And I'm like, no. I says, either come with it for the full. I says, or I says, well, you need to get your deposit back anyway. That's it. Right. I've had this painting for almost 10 years now. And it's hanging above my blooming bed. My wife loves it that much. She says, oh, no, you spent too long in doing it. I'm keeping it. And I was like, okay.
Deposits for everything.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And she, honest to God, there's some paintings I've done I hate, but then people love. And I'm like, why do you love the ones I hate? So then I said, so I'm going to start doing things I hate. And
I
then,
hate the sound of my own voice.
Oh, I hate it.
And I've got a fucking podcast. Why? Do you know what I mean?
I can't.
You hate your own art. I hate my own voice.
Oh,
this is my art.
Aye. This is your art. You love your art, but me, your voice.
My voice.
I hate.
It's like you love your art, but you don't like your paintings.
I don't know. There's a few things I don't like about myself. You look at yourself, you're like, I don't like my nose. It's been punched too many times to the left or the right. I don't know how you look at it in the mirror.
So, it's good. What's the aim of today? What's? I mean, we've had a right good chat round the doors. What's the message that you want to get across? Because you came with a message. You tell me that.
Yeah, this is basically never give up on yourself.
It's your time to shine.
Never give up on yourself. I said, there you go. No matter fit you've got. This is illness, no illness. Thick, as in, thick or smart, either way. You are your own person. You can achieve whatever you want to do, no matter what the elements is. That's what I'm doing now. This is what I'm working myself to do. And hopefully I will get through to you as it did with me, because there's no stopping you once you've got your teeth into it.
So we're going to say that Crohn's is difficult. I know that's difficult. I've got a cousin that's still suffering from it. A stoma is not the end of the world. No. Art seems to be the answer to a lot of things again.
Yeah.
I'm hearing it again. Art is the therapy that people are using. So I don't know. What is there anything else you want to say? Because I think we must be a good hour in now, are we?
An hour and 16 minutes.
Wow.
Whoa.
Time travel, brother.
It is. Huh?
And your wife is sitting out in the car waiting on you before you go and see these cousins. Hit that button, Claire, bottom right.
It's in the car.
Yes.
I did offer her the seat, but she's wanted to read.
Aye.
So what I'll do, we'll listen to this and then I'll get you to do a parting comment to your camera.
Alright.
Which is probably what you've just already done, but...
Basically. Oh yeah, one more thing. And here's more great art.
Didn't saw my couch with that.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. There's one of my work for sale anyway.
Aye. And I've got one of these pieces up on the wall. I'll take a photo of it and I'll put it on later.
There you go.
Aye.
I don't know if you can see it proper. It's an old saw.
It's an old saw.
It's a great
Looks
work.
cool, like. I like it, aye.
Yeah. There you go.
It's amazing.
It's a monkey for another monkey.
Is that a monkey for another monkey, is it? Oh, wow. Is that getting left here or are you taking it home?
You want to keep it?
No?
You need to want it.
Are you getting it to me? Like?
Aye.
Right, well, I can keep it.
I'm giving it to you.
Do you know what I'll do with that? I'll put it under the other one.
Aye, exactly.
And then I'll get you to sign something on that as well.
I'll sign right at the bottom saying, Lack was here.
Lack was here. Lack was indeed here. Thank you very much, sir.
That's all right. Thank you for
and,
here, man.
I'll get this out. So go to your camera again. Tell them where you can find you, and then hire this man to do your art.
Right, you can find me on TikTok on Triple Aces Artist Lack. You can find me on Instagram at artist_of_triple_aces. You can find me on Facebook at Triple Aces. Also on YouTube, Triple Aces Artist Lack. And hopefully, like, subscribe, follow, wherever. There you go.
I like it. On mine, and I'm just going to say adios, amigos, but the man himself said it. Like, share, and subscribe. Adios.